Hearing myself.
Hello, hello. Welcome everyone to our weekly live broadcasts where we are sharing everything new that's going on with search engine optimization, search engines, AI search, ChatGPT, whatever is happening in our industry. Usually on top of that, we review Google updates, we provide feedback on how you can try and recover from those. And we also try to navigate our ways together with you through this new AI search concept that we have been dealing with for a bit more than a year, or maybe close to 2 years now. I think it was. It became a thing about February 2023, so it's very closing to become a year, 2 years now. And still a lot of questions we get from our clients, from our listeners, from our audience, and we are trying as much as we can to find answers for you, or at least some kind of answers, even those are not perfect. I'm Smari. I have been in SEO for 20 years, more than 20 years at this point. I've been changing a lot of roles in SEO. So I've seen it all from link building to SEO analyst to SEO brand manager and community manager, so that I've seen a lot of stuff that has been going in SEO, and it is by far the fastest that is changing at this point. So I'm very fortunate to be able to be on top of those as well. I'm the co-founder of Smarty.marketing. That's the boutique agency that is based in New York. With me today and always is our director of social, April. She does a lot of non-SEO work for us, including our brand identity and all of that. So she brings that fresh non-SEO perspective to this broadcast because, let's face it, I've been in SEO for so long, I could not really understand people who do not really know that much about SEO, and that is the most of our audience. So thank you so much for being with us today, April. We will be talking about interesting tools today. So please check out nsmarty.com is where my newsletter is being published every week. I announce our weekly topics and give much more context in text than it is possible to do in when you talk about those. So you will find links, references, screenshots, all of the nice things there. So nsmarty.com, check out the latest episode there. Subscribe if you like to be up to date with everything that's going in SEO. And we will discuss today tools that track your ChatGPT visibility. Before we go into that, I will remind everyone that, first of all, there are new studies about clicks, and you know that it's been too long that we've been paying attention to web traffic. So clicks for most of our clients, for most businesses, clicks are still the measurement of the success of any campaign. And the bad news is that clicks from Google have been on decline for many years, but in the recent year, it's been at least 30% average loss for most businesses and most websites due to AI overviews. AI overviews are also AI search feature that Google has introduced. They give quick answers to queries, and most of those quick answers are so detailed and so satisfying that people do not click, especially when it comes to informational queries. So if you have been generating traffic mostly for informational queries, that's something you will have to change that strategy, because at this point many people just get those answers from search results. I think that next week we will try to talk about all kinds of content and asset types types that still generate traffic, that is not very easy for AI solutions, including AI overviews, to kind of steal and repurpose and keep those people on their sites. So we'll together we'll try to brainstorm all the different types of content that you can create that could still bring people to your site. So that will be next week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. AST. We are always live broadcasting on LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube. In my newsletter, I always announce where exactly we are going to be broadcasting. So please subscribe again. And smarty.com, you will every week you will get a link on how to join us. And at some point, I will create the landing page when I figure out how to do that. In terms of like, there is a new link every week. So please subscribe on smarty.com. You will find how to join us to be able to find those fresh insights and actionable advice into how to still generate traffic. Ahrefs is the company that last week they announced their own study on how much traffic people are losing, websites are losing due to all the changes that Google is introducing, including AI overviews, mostly due to AI overviews. The average more than 30% of traffic has been lost. Now, the good news and the topic of today's broadcast is that ChatGPT is starting to generate a good amount of traffic. For the first year or after its launch, there has been a lot of argument from publishers. Many publishers would even block ChatGPT so that it cannot access their content because it was not sending clicks to those publishers. So they got nothing from ChatGPT using their content. It has changed due to a huge backlash from publishers. I think there were also some legal actions against ChatGPT, talking, and all of those were you have to give back when you use someone's content. And now ChatGPT, instead of being blocked from many huge publishers, they are actually having all those official agreements with many huge websites, and those huge websites allow ChatGPT to use their content if they are doing a good job sending those clicks back to them. And I think that has been a major change this year. ChatGPT is sending clicks, and the best update, and that's what I've seen from our clients, but that's also what we've been talking internally with some of other search experts. That traffic is much better than Google's. It is also intent based. We've known for ages that Google search traffic is the best possible traffic out there because it is intent based. People are actually searching for solutions, for answers, for products, and when they find those in Google, they are much more likely to buy those. As compared to Facebook or other ads, when people are interrupted when they are doing something else, and now there are some calls to action to buy something. It's not as good as when people actually go and find you on Google. And I think this is the same phenomenon in ChatGPT. It's great traffic. It's a lot of conversions, a lot of engagements. People are likely to go through many pages of a single website if they came from ChatGPT. I'm not sure if this trend is going to change, but I think the novelty of having a conversation with ChatGPT and ChatGPT replying with some links or brand names make people that phenomenon makes people think that it is more trustworthy when they click those links and go from ChatGPT to other websites. It may change in the future, possibly when people get more used to conversing with AI solutions, but now it looks like if you get a click from ChatGPT, it's the best click out there, at least from my experience and from me talking to other people who are tracking that traffic. So how do we actually, and why it is so difficult to track ChatGPT visibility, even if we get traffic, even if we don't get traffic? How can we figure out if we are doing the right job, if ChatGPT actually likes us on our website? It is difficult for two main reasons. So there are no predictable keywords. Most Google searches can be scraped. That's what SEMrush, Ahrefs, all those solutions have been doing for ages. That's how they know which keywords, which rankings, even if it's not your website, even you don't get traffic from those positions, those are still predictable. With ChatGPT, it is not possible because every every consumer is just using ChatGPT privately in their own little rooms that you cannot really figure out what they're doing there or which prompts they are typing. There are no keywords. There are questions, prompts that people are likely to type in ChatGPT. Sometimes those are follow-up questions. So it's not as predictable as organic search. There are no predictable keywords that we could track and tell if we are doing a good job being visible or clickable for those keywords. And the second reason, well, also it is many answers are very dynamic. I know that ChatGPT, other solutions are getting more personalized, more based on your other history with ChatGPT, based on history of other people typing similar prompts, based on their update of their training data. All those answers can be different from person to person. So that is very hard to predict what exactly the answer was to a certain prompt. And also the third, actually I said two, but there are three reasons why it is so difficult. The third one is that in many cases there are no clicks. You can be recommended by ChatGPT, but you would never know because in some cases ChatGPT would not provide a link. For example, when it is asked to list some best companies, best restaurants, best products, they can just name them without providing a link. And so you will not get a click from that prompt, but you can get a lot of sales from those answers. And you will not have an idea of what answer looked like or what question looked like or how to better optimize yourself for that. So all those challenges that we are facing in this point are difficult for sure. We don't have all the perfect answers there, but we have already a set of tools that are trying to solve that problem in new ways. It's not exactly like Google, like we were dealing with Google, but we are going to find ways to make all those visibility scores more predictable. So first of all, what I suggested in my newsletter was setting up custom reports in Google Analytics. You can see traffic from ChatGPT there. There is also data box that already does that for you. All you have is to register with Databox and ask them for help to set up that dashboard where you will be tracking Google Analytics traffic coming through ChatGPT, but also how it converts, with pages it lands. It's very convenient. You can also do that in Google Analytics as well. There is no way, again, to tell which prompts people were typing, but you can see which pages of your site that traffic was landing on. And based on that, you can figure out which questions they may have been asking, because ideally, every page of your site is answering some certain questions. So you could tell if you're getting clicks to a certain page, you can usually tell which prompts those could be. You can also ask ChatGPT to reverse engineer prompts based on your page. So you just give it your URL or your page content, which is even better, and ask ChatGPT what prompts could people be asking for you to give this page as the answer. And you will see what ChatGPT thinks about that. Again, it's not as predictable as keywords, but at least there is some data there that you can use. If you do not get clicks from ChatGPT, but you are included in answers from ChatGPT, you will also ideally see more searches and more impressions for your branded search. So that you can track through Search Console. You just need to create a filter filter your performance report by query, and type the unique part of your brand name in that filter. For us, it would be, for example, Smarty, so that all the different search queries that include Smarty could be included in that performance report. Ideally, if you are being mentioned in ChatGPT as answers, you will see more searches, because people usually search if there is no link to click. They go to Google and search for your brand name to see who you are and buy from you. So you will see those, the increase there. And ideally, if you keep building your brand, you will see more and more branded search impressions for your brand name as well. So that's some metric to add to your reports, to your performance reports as well. Finally, I mentioned that there are not many, but there are a few new, very innovative tools that are being developed at this point, helping us marketers and business owners track all kinds of prompts and visibility in ChatGPT. Check out my newsletter. We had one of the developer in our broadcast a few weeks ago. I think it's No Tour, something like that. The tool that they are developing, you actually it reverse engineers your keywords into prompts, and they focus on commercial intent prompts. So it's not like what is something, but usually who is the best in that industry, who are the best top experts, who are the best companies. And you will track yourself and your competitors in those visibility if your brand is mentioned in those answers from different solutions, including ChatGPT. Another one, and I'm checking my newsletter because I really terrible with tool names. SEO, it's ESSIO.ai is another rank tracking tool for ChatGPT that also tracks your positions in different answers from commercial intent prompts. For both tools, you can adjust the list of prompts. You can type your own prompts that you think you want some visibility in answers for. So they are very customizable, but it is a good start. You can already use them and compare your competitors with how they appear in those answers, how they rank in those answers, even if there are no clicks going to any of your websites. Finally, one tool that I just checked last week, I think it's pretty new, Wayk. It's from developers of InLinks. We know Dixon Jones. He used to be Majestic, then InLinks, and now they also have that project. They check you and your competitors in training data of different AI solutions, including ChatGPT, and then they will show you knowledge gaps. That's something that those AI platforms know about your competitor, but not about you. So you can try to fix that, rerun the report, and see if that has impacted the training data of those solutions. Again, no quite rankings, but something to start with, something to try and monitor. I'm sure those tools will be growing together with us, and we will have even more predictability with AI visibility, but at least we are getting there. At least we have some new solutions that can help us and our clients as well. With that, thank you so much. I will be answering some questions. Please ask them in any social media platforms that you are watching us from. Could be LinkedIn if you are planning to keep coming every week, and Smarty, I'm on LinkedIn as Smarty. You can find me. There will be an announcement there as well. And better, subscribe to my newsletter at smarty.com. Thank you. And April, I know you have a few great questions there.
So what are your top 3 tips for getting more ChatGPT traffic?
That's a great question. Well, a few months ago, we had a great chat discussing question research and optimization. So that's a good start to get into ChatGPT, is actually answer specific questions and answer them very clearly without fluff. Google doesn't like fluff, ChatGPT doesn't like fluff as well. So giving very specific, factual, clear answers to questions that you can find. There are tools that we've listed that includes SEO-driven tools like SEMrush, Ahrefs, Answer the Public. Google's people also ask your own audience, surveys, customer support, whatever you can find. There are questions everywhere. So answering them on your site is a great idea. There, I would focus on answering questions that are more action driven. For example, instead of, you can of course answer all kind of questions if they're helpful to your audience, but focusing on something that, how do I do something, is probably a bad idea. They're not as easy to repurpose as a quick answer, whether it's AI overviews or ChatGPT. If you provide detailed instructions, if you provide infographics like visualizations of the steps, videos, all of that as the tutorial that is describing your steps to do something, chances are any AI solution out there, including AI overviews and ChatGPT, will have to link to you and say, here are more details on how to do that. That's more traffic generating, because giving definitions is not as action driven as providing instruction. Definitions, usually people just read them and move on. They do not have the urge to click the link, even if the link is included. So something that would urge people to come to your site, answering specific questions, is a great start to get more traffic from ChatGPT, especially if you answer them very, very clearly and very, very easy to understand, not just to people, but also to AI. It is still very, I would say it's been almost 2 years, but it's not quite there as we expected it to be. It's still pretty new and not as smart as we would love it to be. So explaining things to in your content like you would explain it to like teenager or maybe a younger kid is always a good idea, being very specific and easy to remember. Remember that AI solutions are not search engines. They do not search when they are answering your questions. In most cases, to save energy and save resources, they will rely on their training data, which they already have. So do not make things complicated for them. Think about, hey, is it easy to remember? If it's easy to, if the answer to a question is easy to remember, chances are ChatGPT will remember it as well. So let's assume we're like teachers of, like, say, middle school, and we are answering questions in a very clear and factual way, while we can elaborate further, provide steps, provide, like I said, some visualizations, anything, but give quick answer first for ChatGPT to bring you up quickly.
So you mentioned knowledge gaps before. Like, what are some ways to fill in the knowledge gaps that AI might have about your brand?
Yes, I mentioned that in context of how much different training data has about you, and that's the tool like Wakey. I don't know how to pronounce it. Please check out my newsletter, the actual URL. That's, I think they give you a free report, one free report, so you can run that tool and see what training data from ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google. I think they support 4 of the platforms. What they know about your competitors, but they don't know about you. You did not make it clear enough with your digital proof footprint. So how you fix those? On your site, you add that content on your site that could be on the existing page, like about page. You can use it on a separate page if it's a huge answer, like what you do, what your category is, how you help people. So you add those concepts and your description of how you are associated with those concepts. Maybe that's your experience, maybe that's not exactly what you are doing, but adding those on your site is a great idea. You can, and it's a good idea to also search ChatGPT about, ask actual questions ChatGPT about yourself, and you will see URLs that ChatGPT is citing, including on in that answer. Look at those as well. Chances are those URLs that are already in ChatGPT's database are lacking that information as well. That could be your LinkedIn, that could be something, that could be your Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is. Of course, that there will be your website cited as well, and you can see which specific URL ChatGPT is basing their knowledge, its knowledge on. So fix that URL as well. So anyway, you can add that information to close those knowledge gap. We had a separate conversation a few weeks ago about brand knowledge content. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Brand knowledge content is the content that is supposed to make it easier for AI agents, for AI bots to understand what you are doing. Those could be FAQs, detailed about page, schema for sure is great for that as well. So check out that newsletter as well about actual brand knowledge content that you should have, and there you can use that article to actually use those knowledge gaps that were identified by that tool as well. Okay.
What kind of content do you recommend to help brands like outperform competitors on ChatGPT? I have such a hard time saying ChatGPT out loud for some
I,
reason.
I have a very bad time with that as well. I always feel like I'm not saying it right, which I probably not. uh, So it's interesting. It goes back to that next week's topics. I think that we will have to do about types of content, and I briefly talked about that today as well, that can generate traffic, and that is unique content that is very hard to repurpose without linking to you. Let's say you are a dictionary and you provide definitions. People will read the definition in the AI overview and they will not click your link, even if it's included in the AI overviews, which is usually the case, but they're well hidden there. So let's not go there. But anyways, something that is very hard to reuse, to retell, to summarize, let's say summarize, I guess, a good word there, and make a satisfying answer and remove the need to click. So put yourself almost in the shoes of your target customers using ChatGPT or Google, and try to imagine, like, would you click that link if that's all you need is, let's say, a summary of something. So what could those be? Of course, unique data is great. They are always cited, especially if it's something complicated. It's like layers of data, like what we are doing in smart marketing. We research that data and create unique research for your site, which is also visualized. Great. They use, if people are asking about some kinds of data from ChatGPT or Google, those are usually very well referenced. And I have a suspicion that most our clients are getting clicks from ChatGPT exactly thanks to that data, because it's usually very well cited and it's not easy to summarize. There are tables of data, there are visualizations of data. Something unique is always great. That could be free tools as well. We have generators on our website that are generating ChatGPT traffic as well. There are schema generators that are free. So those are always great ideas, some kind of generators and tools. And what I call answering do questions on how to do something. That content is great because it's not just gives you an opportunity to generate traffic. from ChatGPT, Google, whoever, because those instructions are not very easy to summarize to the point when they are satisfying enough. But you can also put your products in that context and give you and it will give food to AI as they will understand what your products are doing, and it will also encourage people to buy more from you because they will know exactly why they need to use those products. Those are solutions to their problems. So I would say 3 types of content I just listed. We will talk about that in more detail, maybe with some examples next week on how to create adjust your content marketing strategy. Now that we're losing clicks to most informational queries, we still need some kind of visibility for informational queries because those are brand building queries, and sometimes they also lead not just to brand visibility but conversions as well. So how to go about that, how to create something that will still generate traffic today and in a year, because as we can see, the traffic decline is not slowing down, so we will be probably losing even more traffic. So how to survive that and create assets and pages that require a link, a click. Like there is no way people will be satisfied with that information, even if it's summarized, and they will still be urged to click the link. That will be the topic for the next week. If you have ideas there, please share so that I can include those in my newsletter as well. Again, ansmarty.com. Watch out for my email next week with the links to join. Next Wednesday, 1 p.m. ST, we will discuss some great ideas for you to implement throughout this year to survive everything that's going on in the search industry. Thank you so much and have a great week, and keep your questions coming. I will answer them after this broadcast. Thank you, and thank you, April.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.